Hi guys, welcome back to this week's magazine show. I hope you guys enjoyed the top 10. Big up to WizKid for number 1. That track is dope. The video is equally as dope. I am your host, Cindy Mzhair, and this week we have another packed show for you. I have two people that I know personally, so I'm very, very excited to present them on the show today. I'm also actually very excited because Skinny Girl in Transit is back, and that's obviously my favorite from Ndani TV. It's going to be sick. So I've seen the trailer for that and I'm getting excited. Guys, I'm wearing Ankara because obviously Ankara Festival is coming up on the 9th of December. And I think I'm going to make a promise that every show up until the festival, I'm going to try and get my Ankara ready and display something for you. So if you guys want to keep up with the competition, make sure you get your Ankara sorted before the 9th of December and make sure you guys grab your tickets. Now, to start the show, I'm going to hold this book up, right? And for me, this is new because this is actually a friend of mine that's written this book, and she's done it very behind the scenes. So I was very excited to kind of have her on the show for her to talk about it. Like we've known each other for over like 13 years. Over 13 years, yeah, secondary school. Guys, I want to introduce you to our very first guest, Tessa Uwebi. Welcome to the magazine show. How are you? How are you?
Hi, I'm good, thank you. Thank you for having me on the show. It's a pleasure.
Thank you. So you're, apart from my friend, you're a writer, a blogger, and
now
an author, right? So I'm going to give the book back to you, and this is such a beautiful illustration. I want you to kind of talk us a little bit about the book and your journey entitled Her Rantings.
Well, I chose to call the book Her Rantings, a 21st century woman's voyage of enlightenment. Now, I know that the term rantings is one that people tend to use as a dismissive term, you know, to kind of dismiss unconventional ideas that are spoken about passionately. But I chose to use the term rantings to kind of illustrate that they can be well thought of, well researched ideas that can't be dismissed, you know, and they hold weight. And I chose to use the word her as opposed to, you know, Tessa's rantings or her rantings, or my rantings, because I think that any woman on the same journey as me will be able to relate,
Okay.
you know. And I called a 21st century women's voyage of enlightenment. Obviously, we are 21st century women.
Yeah.
But I made sure I used the word of as opposed to enlightenment, because people tend to talk about enlightenment as a journey to enlightenment, right? They think it's a destination, but it's not.
It's forever going.
You know, it's a constant. You know, you're constantly growing. So yeah, that was the basic reasoning behind the thought concept behind the name.
Okay, and in terms of, if you just hold up the book to the audience, in terms of, so we've gone with, obviously by using the term rantings, you're kind of empowering the word to your own flavour anyway.
Exactly.
Now the illustration is absolutely amazing.
Thank you, I absolutely love it.
Can you tell us like kind of what journey it took you to get to this and what it means, what every single element of that means?
You know what, I got to work with a fantastic illustrator. She's called Anna Peters. She had a lot of time to help me to encapsulate my vision. Now I chose to use, you know, a black woman because it's about my journey, well, a black woman's journey. And I chose to use, to give her an African headscarf to kind of highlight her African heritage. And this burst of colours that you see flowing from, you know, underneath her scarf into the back, the blurb, represents the thoughts and ideas that are inside the book. So the general concept is that the thoughts and ideas come from what is underneath the headscarf, which is obviously her brain, and it flows up into the blurb and into the book.
All right, okay.
So,
that's amazing. Yeah, so it's so nice when you actually come to like something that you're really proud of and that you can display. What actually inspired you to write? Do
you know what? I've always been quite vocal, you know, about my thoughts and ideas. But I think when I studied for my postgrad, I did my postgrad maybe 2 years ago now in international business and politics. Postgrad teaches you a lot about critical thinking, critical research, critical analysis, you know? So I started to apply that not only academically, but also holistically to every aspect of my life. So the new things that I was learning, I decided to write down, you know, because it was kind of like a cathartic release for me. I wanted to share this experience with people. So that was the journey. That was how the book kind of started to take shape slowly and slowly. 2 years later, we have this.
So I've seen a couple of bits from the book, and I would say that maybe some of the views could be perceived as unconventional. And obviously it does take a lot of courage to kind of speak up about what you feel, especially when your views may differ from a wider audience. Like, how do you cope with like the naysayers and the criticisms that are surrounded like some of the views in the book?
Do you know what? I've always been one to kind of march to the beat of my own drum. You know, I appreciate constructive criticism, of course, because, you know, I'm big on self-evaluation, and I think that constructive criticism helps you grow. But anything that doesn't come from a positive place or doesn't grow me, I tend not to pay too much attention to. And it's funny because I feel like I've been like that since I was very young. There's one incident in particular I remember. I was about 10 years old, and my primary school teacher, Mrs. Simpson, I'll never forget her name, she used to do this thing, like, she'd ask us questions, and she'd say, if you think the answer is A, put your hands up. So half the class would put their hands up, and if you think the answer is B, put your hands up. So she asked a particular question on this day, and she said, you know, if you think the answer is A, put your hands up. So half the class put their hands up. I didn't, because I didn't think it was A. And then she said, and do you think it's B? So I put my hands up along with half the other class. And then she just stopped and looked at us. She looked at us. And you know how kids are like, everyone kind of panicked and started to put their hands down. And then she just shook her head. And some more people put their hands down. Now by this point, there's probably about 5 of us with our hands up. And then she says, are you sure? And the kids are like, everyone else puts their hands down apart from me. And then the kids are saying to me, Tess, put your hands down, come on.
Yeah, put your hand down, yeah.
Long story short, anyway, she just basically said, well done, Tess, you're the only one who got the answer right. So I feel like that experience was preparing me from a young age, you know, helped me understand that the masses, just because the masses think a certain type of way, they're not always right.
Okay,
you know,
fair enough.
Just stand firm in your truth.
Yeah, agreed.
Even if you're the only one that thinks the same way, you know, so, yeah.
Right. So I'm definitely looking forward to reading the book. Obviously, with every great book comes a massive and fabulous book launch. So you've actually decided to launch yours in Abuja, right?
Yes, I have. It's actually in partnership with Play Network.
In
so,
Abuja.
It will be a fantastic event. Don't worry though, London. I'll be back within the early part of next year to do one here, and you're all invited.
Good. I'll be there. In fact, I'll be at both. I'm trying to be at both. Yeah. So then, in terms of that, so like, what does it take to kind of do a book launch? What are you looking for? Like, what do you want your viewers and your fans to kind of get from this? How the support is in Abuja?
I feel like the book itself, right? I'll give you a general synopsis of the book. The book itself is a self-exploration, self-discovery book. You know, it's like a collection of memoirs, musings, and ideas of a 21st century woman's journey of enlightenment. You know, it touches on societal, political, and cultural issues, such as race, religion, spirituality, relationships, love, you know, and every topic that it delves into gives the reader, helps them with unearthing knowledge of self and unlearning false truths. Now, what I mean when I say unlearning false truths is, you know, for example, we as Black people are taught a lot of things about our history that are not necessarily true. Some of them are just outright falsities, you know. And even as women or young people in society, we aren't really taught how to build up our self-esteem and our self-worth, you know. The focus is on these celebrities, perfect celebrities, you know. We're told to aspire to be like them with mostly unattainable standards, you know. The focus is on the outer image, and they do this whilst at the same time portraying negative aspects of certain communities and telling us that this is all that we are. And that's obviously not true, you know. There's no focus on how to nourish your soul or how to attain knowledge of self. Now, people who know me know that I'm big on knowledge of self. That is my saying, because knowledge of self is nirvana, you know. So, because once you have knowledge of self, it helps you navigate the world that we live in, you know. So, this book kind of addresses these issues and brings them to the forefront. And it also highlights the popular misconception that people tend to have about consciousness. People tend to think that consciousness or enlightenment is simply about meditation and chakras, you know, and it's simply not. Consciousness is a vast spectrum. And I feel like every single topic that I address in this book plays a pivotal role in the consciousness or enlightenment sphere. So this is basically what I want people to kind of take away from the book. That is the general synopsis of the book. And when you come to the launch, we'll just have a good time.
So when is the launch and where is it?
It is on the 29th of December in Abuja, location to be confirmed, in partnership with Play Network. You guys are, well, you know, if you could get to Abuja, you can next year you can come to the one in London.
In terms of those who want to keep up with the journey, follow your journey, like obviously you've got like a blog post out there. If you just give our audience like your socials, your handles, and how we can keep up with you.
Well, you know what? The book is actually available for pre-order today
Woo!
on my website.
Yay! Okay.
www.tessouyb.com. And my social media handles, Instagram is at TessoLil. My Twitter is at TessoLil. Please, guys, do pre-order my book.
Yeah.
It's amazing. It will change your life.
Good. Right. There you go. Any last messages for these ladies that, or if anyone that wants to do it?
Amazing. You know that we are amazing, fantastic women, and we should love ourselves because knowledge of self is nirvana.
Guys, you heard it here. Make sure you go out and pre-order the book on the website. Follow her socials, and we will catch you right after the break. Thanks for coming.
All right, thank you. It was such a pleasure.